Hello everyone, welcome to a new session on Pharynktinophora. Here we'll be discussing on the silent features of Pharynktinophora as well as the type species Pleurobrachia in detail. Pharynktinophora, it is otherwise referred as Cnidaria. It includes exclusively marine invertebrates, very few members being recorded. We can see that ctenophorans, the body, it is very delicate, and as you can see here, it is almost transparent. Cylindrical or it is pear-shaped body, or even ribbon-like a round or oval-shaped body can also be found among the members of the ctenophorans. They are generally referred or commonly referred as comb jellies or comb bearers. The reason is the term ctenophora, the first term, actually it's a Greek term which refers to comb-like or teeth-like. And because of the presence of those structures in them, we call them as comb jellies because the body is very delicate and almost like 95% of the body it is water, so it is so delicate and hence it is referred as comb jellies. Right now, the body, it is radially or biradially symmetrical, and the symmetrical planes, it passes over two imaginary planes over the body, the tentacular plane and the pharyngeal plane. Okay, this is the pharyngeal plane and this one being the tentacular plane. Okay, so whichever be the planes, each plane divides the body into two halves which are almost mirror images to each other, and both these planes, that is the tentacular plane as well as the pharyngeal plane, it passes along the oral aboral axis. This is the oral pole and this is the aboral pole, and the planes, it actually runs along the oral aboral axis and at right angles to each other. So this is the tentacle over here, right, and this is the gastrovascular actually alimentary canal. Okay, so one plane is over here and the other one, it could be in this way. So it is in both these planes, it divides the body into two major halves. Okay, two mirror image halves. Now apart from that, the body is diploblastic. You can see here it is of epidermis and endodermis, and in the middle they have the what is known as a mesoglia. Okay, epidermis and mesoglia, it contains what called muscle fibers and nerve cells. When you speak about the nerve cells, the ctenophorans, they have a well-developed nerve net. They don't have a well advanced nervous system, but they do have a subepidermal nerve net. And apart from that, they also have a characteristic aboral, what do you call the sensory receptor, somewhere over here at this position on the aboral pole, right? And it is almost placed in between the anal pores, the aboral sensory receptor, and the function is almost similar to that of the statocyst. Okay. Yeah, so that was about the diploblastic condition. Now, as already mentioned, they are transparent, they are solitary and pelagic animals in the sense it floats in water. Okay, it moves along in water, and this movement, it is brought about with the help of structures present on the, here you can see, right, these parts. Okay, they do have ciliary structures or ciliary tracts, and these ciliary tracts, the cilia, it keeps on moving and brings about the movement. Okay, so that is how they keep on moving in water. They have a pair of long extensile tentacles on each side. The tentacles may be like almost 50 to 100 times longer than the body, and these tentacles, it emerges from tentacular sheath. Okay, here you can see this part. Okay, this is the tentacular sheath. For make it more clear, you can see over here. Okay, so very what you can say is that there is a deep pouch on either side, right, and these deep pouches, from the bottom of the deep pouches arises, you can see over here, this is the tentacle. Okay, so it is very long, right? So this sheath from where the tentacle arises, it is referred as the tentacular sheath. So there are two long tentacles on each side, and these tentacles, it emerges from the tentacular sheaths. These tentacular sheaths, they are actually two deep pouches on either side. Each tentacle, it is provided with lateral rows of filaments, and these lateral row of filaments, it is referred as the tentillae or pinnae. The tentacles as well as these tentillae, they are provided with structures which are referred as colocytes or lasso cells. So to be more precise, you can see with the figure here. So this is actually, yeah. Okay, so these are the tentacles, and each of these smaller branches, it is referred as the tentillae. Okay, and the tentillae as well as the tentacles, they are provided with the structures which are known as colocytes. Okay, actually colocytes are epidermal adhesive cells, and these secrete sticky substances which actually adhere the prey. Okay, so it is useful for capturing the prey. As when you are speaking about the prey-predator relation over here with respect to Ctenophora, the Ctenophorans, they are voracious predators, and they are important predator of fish larvae, copepods, etc. Okay. Now coming back to the next one, we can see that the body surface, it is marked with 8 equally spaced meridional rows of the comb rows or comb ribs. Okay, so these are the meridional rows of, you can see here 8 such rows are present, meridional rows are present, and these are actually ciliary plates. Okay, so they are actually ciliary plates, and it is marked as stains over here. Okay, that is why the name has come, Ctenophora, right? And these like comb rows or comb ribs as referred, they serve as swimming paddles. So they are actually helping in movement or locomotion. Okay, when you speak about the further structures of this one, they have the comb rows and these setae present on them. They are placed transversely as plates, okay, which we'll be looking in detail when we speak about the type species Fluorobrachia in the next one slide. Okay, now regarding the reproduction, the Ctenophorans, most of the Ctenophorans, they are hermaphrodites in nature, with the exception of 2 species. All the Ctenophorans, they are hermaphroditic, or we can say they are monoecious, that is the male and the female reproductive structures are present in the same organism. And the development as well as the fertilization, it takes place outside, that is external fertilization, outside in seawater, and the fertilization, it results in the formation of a juvenile stage which is referred as the cetipid. Okay, the cetipid juvenile stage, it is we can see it could be in 2 ways it can develop. That is, the egg hatches out and it undergoes formation of the juvenile stage, that's cetipid. And what happens with cetipid? So the juvenile, it may attain sexual maturity earlier, that is even before it metamorphose into adult stage. So we can call it as a precocious sexual maturity, and in that condition itself it may start reproducing. So there could be 2 such conditions where the cetipid juvenile stage, it may metamorphose into completely grown adult and then attain sexual maturity and then reproduce. That is a normal course. Otherwise it may attain sexual maturity even before it gets metamorphosed into the adult stage. Such a kind of phenomenon having 2 kinds of what you call attaining the sexual maturity, that is referred as the dysogeny or dysogony. Okay. So this is about the salient features of Ctenophora. Here you can see that when these ciliary plates, the comb rows, isn't it? So when it moves, it almost are luminescent. These organisms, even though they are transparent, when they move in water by paddling these comb rows, what happens is it becomes luminescent. It actually reflects light. Okay.